Bobby. We
Hey,
had an
hey.
AI conversation, but our guest today is Andrew King, a Pittsburgher that I guess we connected on LinkedIn. We were both maybe in Dallas at the same time. Andrew, thanks for stopping by. Tell us your background and why
Great to
you're on
have
the
you guys
show.
here.
Yeah,
Well, I
and
appreciate
you
it.
seem
Thanks for
like you're
having
doing
me.
some interesting stuff. Where you're right now live, and just tell us about yourself.
Sure. So briefly put, appreciate you guys having me on the show. I guess a reform lawyer. I used to be with the Dallas Stars. I was the GC for about six months, and previously the Pittsburgh Penguins, the sports realm. Now I do something entirely differently. I run a nonprofit focused on national security and beating China, and a venture fund that invests in beating China. So we work with various countries from Germany to Australia to Israel and the US. We coordinate with the Treasury Commerce, the White House, the China Select Committee. And yes, I'm in DC right now, actually, for at the Milken Conference. So, Neil, it's a pleasure to be on. But yeah, basically, what we do is try to convene and make sure that the conversations continue in the private sector in national security. So, defense tech companies, startups, and mature companies um, continue to invest. And frankly, what's going on in Iran right now is direct linkage to us needing to get more nimble and more dynamic within the, basically the national security fighting space. A lot of the drones and things like that. There's a ton of stuff that's coming out of DC right now. And yeah, it's going to be even more exciting in the next year or two.
You didn't think when you came to this conference there'd be a war. So I'm sure there's a huge buzz, right? Of US going attacking Iran.
Yeah, it's everything, and I think not only like these sorts of conversations, but everybody's WhatsApp's blowing up, their Twitters, and it's a day by day. I had a very good conversation with the head of Tel Aviv University's innovation program yesterday because we're working with them on their Cyber Week conference in June. And honestly, we see it from afar here in America, and unfortunately, we've lost soldiers. Israel seeing this in the front lines. The note that she gave me or sent me on Sunday was, "Hey, listen, why don't we meet at 1900 Israeli time? And you may have to excuse us if we have to run to a shelter. We'll just pick up once we get to the shelter." That's not something we've ever lived with. So the simple fact is, it's a new world order. I worked on an op-ed in Germany last year to the German people with one of the Porsche executives. And Germany is going to learn to work harder because they don't have a choice. And last week, the German chancellor came back after visiting China and had this mea culpa saying, "Yeah, actually, everybody in Germany is going to have to work more than 4 days a week, and there's just no way around it because I've seen the future, and the future is not us."
All right. So Bobby, what are your thoughts with any questions for Andrew? Because Andrew, I guess you
I
have
know.
a
I think it's
policy.
impressive. So your nonprofit is about staying ahead of China. Is that what you mentioned?
That's it. Yeah, we focus on basically having the right technology across drones, um, quantum, cyber,
What about AI?
AI, AI without a doubt. I think we have to keep on doing what we're doing here in the U.S., which is funding a lot of it.
What
Data
if we
centers are.
stop funding it? That's my concern. What if
Uh,
because there's like lots of people calling for us to stop building data centers. That's
yeah,
going to be really bad for our national security if China goes ahead of us in the AI race, right? For AI.
tremendously bad. And frankly, we're neck and neck. China is beating us in some areas. We are
Yeah.
not winning in others. In some, we are ahead. But that being said, hey, AI is the future. You've all used Claude. You've all used
ChatGPT,
ChatGPT
Gemini.
and Gemini.
I'm using all the large language models. So
It's
yeah.
amazing what they can do. And week by week,
Mhm.
they get better and better. And so, if that's the case, frankly, I'm less worried about who wins the AI race and how we basically keep the younger generation focused and, learning, evolving in this new subset that AI is frankly playing a bigger part in writing everything. I mean, from what you guys are doing here, even the media podcast, you can't find an area that's untouched by this. So, what does that mean for knowledge workers? What does it mean for blue collar workers?
Right.
And how does that filter down throughout society is going to be a really interesting issue.
And we got to have an education conversation, Andrew. And this is where I've had, that's why I'm relaunching Total Tutor again. I owned a tutoring business before and I'm relaunching it in the aspect of just saying, you know what? I need to bring this conversation to the table with teachers, with administrators, with everyone that AI is an enhancement, but ultimately we need to teach our kids to learn differently. We need more agentic learners. If we don't have people who have agenic thinking and we're more going in the lower end, AI is going to manage them for the rest of their lives. They have to figure out how they can be out of the box, how they can work on their own without direction, Andrew. That's the only way it's going to differentiate yourself in
Yeah.
any industry right now, is for the owners and the high executives to have people that are they're high end learners, high order thinking learners. And we're not teaching that in our schools.
No.
I'm sorry,
One thing that I would say is there's also been an interesting idea of the older generation coming back out into the education workforce, because the people that can use AI no longer are those skills, or even remoteness. It's no longer anything that we have to get past. The challenges of diminishing as long as we have lifelong learners. So we have to continue to advance the people that are, further along in their careers. They have to adopt AI. We have to encourage them to adopt AI. But frankly, it's going to make them more productive a lot longer because they already have the known connections. And frankly, that's what the later stage network, it's relationship based. I mean, what persists past AI? It's these sort of interactions. It's the relationships that we've built over years and years, because there's a trust layer there. AI can't duplicate that. And the younger learners don't have that. And that's why they have to be better at AI than the
Right.
older generation, so to speak.
And see, I think older generation needs to as well, because we're living longer. There's just so many different aspects to this global society. Now with this war and looking at these specific things, every industry is slowly but surely, and you talked about all these other industries that we got to keep up with China, have AI built in somewhere, right? You talked
about, yeah.
every
Well,
one
right
of them.
now, right now, if you look at the Iran war, the U.S., as I understand it, and I'm not privy to any information, we're using AI to target Iranian sites and military compounds. That's unheard of. We've never done that before. And frankly, I just read a good report on how we duplicated the Iranian Shahad missile drone, suicide drones. And hey, we're learning. We're doing this better. But that being said, AI is going to be an elemental aspect to everything we do going forward.
So robotics, how can we keep up with, we've not talked about the robotics thing. Elon Musk says, and I wish I could talk to you more. You're coming back on, Andrew, because you're a wealth of knowledge and I love to help your foundation any way I can. When you talk about something as crazy as robotics, we keep talking AI. Robotics with Optimus launching with Elon, and how we're going to have all these robots. Are we keeping up with China and robot side or not?
Well,
Robotics.
so the U.S. government just launched an initiative. I don't remember what it's called, but I saw it a couple of days ago, focused on robotics, and there's going to be a lot more spending behind it because we're losing. That being said, Figure just announced fundraising, and they were almost bankrupt. One of the biggest robotics companies, one of the few, and I mean they've have a resurgence based on the backs of the fact of what has to happen. I was at CMU last Friday for the dual use conference that they did a wonderful job. I led the podcast on it. Frankly, there's some amazing stuff coming out of these universities like CMU in Pittsburgh that we can't overlook. And so if anything, I think we need to figure out a way to democratize education so a lot more people can work on robotics. And basically what we need is that younger generation that's much more fluid in this area.
All right. So, Andrew, how can we help your foundation? What can our listeners and viewers do?
Well, first and foremost, we're working more on the athletic side. So I've got a couple questions for you, both on and off air, but we got to talk wrestling. And so there's a lot of neat stuff that's coming. So this is your wheelhouse. So
So
I'm
you're
looking
doing
forward to it.
athletic side too for this?
Yeah. So we have elemental. I mean, I still play. I'll be at the MIT Sports Conference next week. That's the big sports conference that everybody should go to if you get a chance. Not cheap, and tickets I think are sold out now. Next year though, put in your calendars early. And the MIT MBA students do a wonderful job, but it's a who's who of the sports world if you're into that space. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, how do we connect? Most of the ways that we connect are culturally, and that is either celebrity sports. I mean, the Olympics is the
Yeah.
prime example
I'm
of
building
like,
something big. I got a bunch of different things I'm building, Andrew. I don't tell people on LinkedIn what I got going. I think you know that about me. No, I don't do any of that because I'm always just moving. We're working on some things with sports. I can't say because I'm never going to say
Oh,
I'm
cool.
involved in it. But there's some big things in collaboration happening. We'll be launching Total Tutor is one of them as well. And my media agency keeps growing. So, Andrew, where can people find more info on the foundation and stuff you
Yeah,
work with?
so and I should have mentioned this earlier, nonprofit's called Future Union, futureunion.co. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn or vice versa. And, frankly, love investing in the next generation. So any of the students out there, feel free to reach out as well.
Bobby, any questions for Andrew with this whole thing of
Well,
staying ahead
Neil,
of China?
well, you talked about the sports teams. I'm working with a technology that's 35 years old. It's been used by 78 professional sports teams, including the Chicago Blackhawks, who claim if it wasn't for this technology, they wouldn't have won their 2 Stanley Cups. So it's a frequency that gets them to just perform better. So that they monetized it to the general public for the first time. It was used by 2.7 million surgeries, the United States military, the special forces. So now the company I'm with has exclusive rights to individuals. So this could be a big play, and it could be something that can help a lot of people, but at the same time, it could monetize some good funds for your nonprofit. So we'll
Talk
talk more
more.
about that.
All right,
I hear you
Andrew.
guys. This was a pleasure. Thank you for
Appreciate it.
having
Thank
me
you.
on.
All right. That was a special simulcast of Neil Haley Show. And then